Ready? I'd like to call Iberia Parish Council meeting to order. Today is February the 5th, 2020. The time is 6 o'clock. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to put their telephones on silent and remind my fellow colleagues on the council to remember their ethics training when it comes to the use of electronic devices during the meeting. Thank you. We have the opening prayer by Brad with the pledge by Marty Trahan. Brad?
Our Father, who art
Born
in
in
heaven,
heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Thank you, Brad. Marty?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Tommy Pollard. Here. Michael Landry.
Here.
Brad Davis.
Here.
Lloyd Brown. Warren Goshasang. Here. Natalie Broussard. Here. Paul Landry. James Trahan. Scott Rossonay. Here. Eugene Olivier.
Here.
Brian Napier.
Here.
Lady Fontenot Brown. Marty Trahan.
Here.
Chad Mochran.
Here.
We have a quorum. Before we go into public comment, policy allows for 3 minutes per person. I need a motion and a second to go into public comment. A motion by Michael Landry, a second by Marty Trahan. Roll call. Paul? That motion carries. Item number 1, comment from the general public on non-agenda items. We have none. Item number 2, comment from the general public on agenda items. We have none. I'd like to entertain a motion and a second to go back into public comment. In a regular session. Motion by Tommy Pollard, second by Chad Mochran. Roll call. James, that motion carries. Report finance and administration actions, there is none. Report parish and other governmental agency, there is none. Public's work report, those reports were sent out by email. Public's work report to close work orders dated January the 13th through the 17th, 2020. Those were sent out by email. Special business, there is none. Council member announcements. Paul Landry.
The Life Grief Support Ministry, it's the mothers and families of murdered children. I have a meeting on February 15th, 2020 at 12 noon. It's going to be at the House of Prayer at 1301 West St. Peter Street. So if anybody is interested, I'd like to see everybody attend.
Thank you, Paul. James Trahan.
Yes, I would like to take this time as the council to express our condolences to John Wayne Frew Sr., his family. He passed away this Saturday. He was a council member here from 1988 to 91. And I'd just like to express that, let him rest in peace, and let's pray for his family.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Any other announcements? Parish president announcements?
Okay, litter abatement program for January the 25th. We picked up a total of 60 bags of trash and various debris throughout the area of Landry Drive. Regarding Resolution 2019-166, Corps of Engineers, there was a request for the Corps of Engineers in reference to Bayou Jack. I have a letter right here basically saying that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers does not have responsibility for Bayou Jack. However, they're recommending that we contact the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness to try to resolve the issue that we have over there. And just so you know, we're taking care of that now. Regards to Resolution 2019-182, DOTD, that's the Laurelville Road Bell Place Olivier roundabout. we're requesting for some lights over there regarding to the assistance of DOTD for installation of lighting at the roundabout at LA 86 Laurelville Road and LA 320 Bell Place Olivier Road, Iberia Parish. The department does not provide fixed lighting on State Highway because fixed lighting is not essential for safety. The parish may, at their own expense, provide roadway lighting at that roundabout, but DOTD won't be able to do it. Next thing, Iberia Parish Councilman, I'd like to present this while I'm here right now to Councilman David Broussard. It's a resolution number 2019-185, which requests the Department of Transportation to put railroad crossings at the project, of course, throughout Iberia Parish, but we're concerned about making it a high priority. If y'all remember, y'all passed a resolution basically asking for us to send this to the Department of Transportation at the highest priority, which we did. So this resolution, if I can, give this to Mr. Broussard. Of course, y'all know that Mr. Broussard has been working on this for many, many years. I was a parish councilman when we started that. Yeah. And this is the resolution that the parish council passed, and also this is a letter where I sent it to Mr. Williams Broussard.
I want to mention every week, Scott from the railroad to get together for the donation of the land at Iberia Province, Church Street. So it's delayed until you get up on it, work faster than that. And it's a little bit time process works slow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Scott, for any kind of push you can, I appreciate you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pass, another thing I want to pass on in reference to that, we're currently in discussion with the Department of Transportation in Burlington Norton regarding these crossings. This is a bit more complicated than just putting a couple of crossing arms. So when we get more information from the Department of Transportation in Burlington Norton, I'm going to come back and report to you guys what it is that that we're doing and where we're at in the process.
Thank the whole council for supporting this.
Absolutely. We're still looking for a full-time position, full-time maintenance position at the jail. We're trying to get qualified candidates to apply. Just apply with the Human Resource Department. Something else I want to pass on to the Parish Council is the project to renovate Robert B. Green Memorial Building on Field Street has gone out for advertisement. We went out for the first advertisement yesterday, and that's a big deal for those of the new councilmen that don't know what's going on. This is something that we've been working on the whole 4 years we were here, and probably 2 or 3 years prior to us being here. So it's a big deal. The bids are due back on March the 5th at 10 o'clock. The contractors, of course, as are interested in bidding, are invited to attend a pre-conference here in the chambers on February the 27th at 10 o'clock. And at that particular time, we're going to have architects or the architect here on hand to answer any questions in reference to that particular project. We have an agreement that's been signed with Iberia Parish Government and CLECO to add the additional lightings on Admiral Doyle Drive at the air base from 3212 to Le Jardin Restaurant, which I hope you guys know where that's at. That's right before you get to Kidana Crime Lab. And this is a very big deal for us. That project expected to be starting in the next month, and is going to be a great enhancement for commercial businesses at the airport, as well as people that's just traveling. Also, if you're familiar when you have this little intersection, I call it a horseshoe area, where you turn and go toward the air traffic control tower, we're going to be putting lights there as well. This is going to be a major improvement for that particular area. We got a letter from Mr. James Lee from Facility Planning in Baton Rouge stating that we can proceed with the bid for the airport access road. So we starting to get a few projects here that I'm getting very proud of. So now we have the access road that we're working with. We have the Robert B. Green project that we're dealing with. We did get some information back on the widening of the Lewis Street Admiral Doyle. You should have that in your package, or I think Brenda may have sent you guys an email today. It's just a timeline on what they're doing there and when they expect to have everything done, when they're going to finish, or when they're going to start the engineering and the construction and things of that nature. Public Works report, we did some catch basing work in District 10, culverts cleaning in District 9, District 13, and District 14. Debris pickup in District 3, 5, and 13. We had some downed trees in District 8, 9, and 10. Roadside drainage work we performed in District 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 14. We did some road grading in District 5, 9, 13, and 14. Patching in District 5, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 14. Shoulder work in District 8 and 13. Front ditch side booming work we did in various districts. At this particular time, I would like to get Mike Tarantino to come up. You guys may remember last year, y'all passed a resolution where y'all wanted IDF that we're working with to come and give y'all a quarterly update on things that we're doing. So he's basically going to come here and give you a very brief overview of what we did in 2019, and we're going to continue to do this in 2020, but it's going to be on a more frequent basis. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Parish President. I appreciate that. Good evening, and thank you for giving me just a few minutes to give you a quick recap on 2019. All of the activities that I talked about in 2019 were done in very close coordination with the Parish President and Parish Administration. We have a very good partner relationship. Your administration has made economic development a priority. Our administration has made economic development a priority, and it certainly showed in 2019. And so I appreciate all their time and all the involvement that we had together over that year. Just a quick recap. Many of you also participated in some of these activities as well. The industrial property tax exemption, we have a committee. We put together a committee to consider those tax exemption applications that come through. Those are new businesses and existing businesses who are looking to add jobs and expand. We hosted 6 different committee meetings during that time frame, many of which you approved here. Those total of 8 throughout the year. I'm happy to report that those activities will result in 545 new jobs in 2020, and so very important activities and jobs for our parish among a number of different businesses that decided to expand. Our committee also hosted a meeting to determine whether or not to grant foreign trade zone designation to an Iberia Parish business. That was granted. That was a business out at the Port of Iberia. Result of that will be about 150 new jobs and some additional international business lines for that business at the port. We respond to requests for proposals from all over the country. The Department of Economic Development forwards those proposals to us. We prepared 15 different responses to proposals this year for many companies seeking to locate, 2 or 3 of which I think will be locating in Iberia Parish in the upcoming year. We provide business retention and expansion visits. One of the most important things we can do is not only seek to recruit new business, but also visit with our existing businesses, the businesses that employ our folks, pay taxes, and do those activities. Working in close coordination with the administration, we made many business retention and expansion visits during the year. The total for the year was 69 visits we made over that year, visiting with businesses, getting their feedback, understanding what their needs are. I spoke with the parish president today. I'm going to compile some of their comments and bring those comments back to you in the next quarterly report so we can all work together to address those issues. We hosted 2 special seminars during the last year. One was, many of you attended. One was a focus on film seminar educational seminar for the citizenry and for businesses, discussing the film tax credits that the state offers for film and video content and jobs in that respect. We had over 100 attendees at that seminar. Many of you may have heard last night during the president's address, he talked quite a bit about opportunity zones. The Opportunity Zone is a program that was put together by the federal government as part of the Trump tax cuts program, a very important investment program for our community. We hosted an educational seminar on that and had over 50 attendees. We attended numerous national trade shows, particularly the Maintenance, Repair, and Overhaul Aviation Show, seeking to attract new business to Acadiana Regional Airport. And we submitted 28 site proposals to various site selectors around the country.
Any questions for Mike? No one? Okay, good. I'm going to close by, thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. I'm going to close by saying today I met with Workforce Development, and we're looking for a location right now, which they actually have 2 that they visit today, where they're going to set up shop in Iberia Parish. And the goal is to try to make this one of the showcases for workforce development in this region. We're looking for a location where we're going to be able to do training, have classes and educational classes where people are going to be able to come do training. For example, plumbing, electrical, But more importantly, we want to have a workforce development team in Iberia Parish that's going to communicate with our businesses. That's going to go around and collaborate with the businesses that we have, trying to find out what their needs are. The time of just sitting back with workforce development and just trying to let people come to you is a bit, that's in the past. You guys know that I've been on the board with that organization for several years, and right now I just happen to be in a leadership position, and we want to take advantage of that, and we want to bring those people here in Iberia Parish and do what we can do to give the people of Iberia Parish that's looking for work an opportunity. So with that said, you may see something, if the price is right, from one of those buildings that we looked at today. You may see where workforce development is going to be setting up shop in a very prime location where we will be able to hopefully grow the participation and the number of people that walk in, try to give more opportunities to the people that's looking for work. Thank you. That's it for me. I'm done. It's probably
Okay.
took too long, but I'm done.
Any questions for Larry? Okay, thank you, Larry. It's
You're
great
welcome.
news. I'm glad to see we're moving forward on some of those major projects that we've been having on the books for quite some time now.
Quite some time.
Thank you. Chair would like to recognize Lady Fontenot Brown at attendance at the meeting today. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll move on with the agenda. Consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption. The minutes, regular meeting of January the 22nd, 2020. Those was sent to you by email. Would you like to remove anything from the consent agenda? If not, I need a motion in a second. A motion by Michael Landry, a second by Paul Landry. Michael?
Waive.
Paul? Okay. No other comments? Roll call? That motion carries. Ordinance introduced for public hearing and adoption, summary number 5045, introduced by Eugene A. Olivier Sr., District 10, an ordinance amending the reenacting Chapter 18, Section 18-8 of the Compliance Ordinance of Iberia Parish, Louisiana, related to no-wake idle speed zone within the waterways of Iberia Parish by adding subparagraph 8 thereto, to include certain portions of Bayou Pad 2, to provide for effective date thereof, and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. I need a motion in a second. Motion by Michael Marty Trahan. I need a second by Michael Landry. Marty?
Waive.
Michael?
Waive.
No other comments? Roll call. That motion carries. Moving on to resolution introduced for public hearing and adoption, summary number 20, a resolution authorizing the awarding of contracts for property and liability insurance with various agencies, all as recommended by the parish administration. I need a motion in a second. Motion by Lloyd Brown, a second by Marty Trahan. Lloyd?
Waive.
Michael? Marty, I'm sorry.
Waive.
Ms. Scott Ronsonet?
I know I lost my hand.
I'm sorry. Scott?
I'm
Any
good.
comments?
Waive. No.
Waive. No other
Yeah.
comments? Roll call? That motion carries. Summary number 21, introduced by Paul Landry, District 7. A resolution authorizing the employment of Randy Haney of Haney and Associates as a lobbyist to promote Iberia Parish government and its agencies, boards, and commissions for fiscal year 2020. To authorize Parish President, Mr. Larry Richard, to execute a contract for said services, and further to amend the 2020 general fund budget in the amount of $36,000 to provide funding for said contract, all to be funded from the fund balance previous year's line item. Have a motion by Paul Landry, a second by Natalie Broussard. Paul?
Yeah, I think we got a pretty good delegation, but I think Mr. Haney does a lot of the bigger municipalities and things. I know he's well-connected in Baton Rouge, and for this rate of 36, I think he can turn us on. The meeting we had, he talked about a lot of things going on in the state that none of us heard of. Mr. Richard was there, and it's just these things we don't have. I think it's a very small investment. I think we can get a very, very good return on this, and that's, I think it's a good thing to go with.
Thank you, Paul. Totally agree with you. Natalie?
Yeah, I agree with Paul and Eugene. I think this is a really small investment for us to try and get a lot of money back in the parish where we can do some infrastructure and some improvements here. So I'm going to support it.
Okay. Thank you, Natalie. Lloyd?
Yeah, and one good thing about it, this is a year-to-year contract.
Absolutely.
If we're not satisfied with it, we can cancel it. So
Yes.
I think it's a good thing.
Thank you, Lloyd. Scott?
I'm supporting it also, but I just had one request, and kind of like what just happened right here. Can we get them over here, an associate or somebody, to give us an update quarterly?
Absolutely.
That way we know, not wait till the end of the year and say, oh, man, well, where's my money?
Absolutely.
You know, that way we can just
Absolutely.
get
We
something.
can get, I tell you what, anytime you want, if we can do it quarterly might be a bit much. Of course, you know, the way a lot of stuff work in Baton Rouge, you're doing a lot doing session.
Yeah.
But anytime you want that particular firm here, just let me know and I'll get them
He
here.
could give us some update on what's in session. And
Yeah,
then we might have
exactly.
something, look, I'd like to attack this one for the airport.
Yeah,
I'd like
and
to
I'll tell
attack
you,
this one for
I'll
the
tell you
port.
another thing. If this thing do pass, I'm having a meeting on Monday with our delegation, with all of the state delegation, and we're also bringing in some of the different commissions to that particular meeting. For example, IDF is going to be there, the airport's going to be there. Hopefully, we're going to have the hospital there. And my game plan, if this do work, is to try to get him there so he can understand what Iberia Parish plan is moving forward. We have a lot of good things that we're working on in the parish. As you know, or if you don't know, we have a lack of dollars. And we have to invest in ourselves a bit to try to get whatever it is out there that we can tap into. And I think this is a great move for Iberia Parish. Really and truthfully, I thought that when the city decided they wasn't going to do it, he was going to back out. I really did, but he said he's not, and he said he's committed to Iberia Parish, and he's going to do everything he can possibly do to help us move forward. So anything you need, Scott, as far as him coming or someone from his firm coming, just let me know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The reason I'm saying it like that, I wouldn't want to say every 3 months and then something happen and they're in session.
It can be electronic, maybe
What-
every quarter.
Yeah.
And,
But it wouldn't be bad for them to come right up here and tell you what they're doing as well.
Yeah.
And then the general public can hear
well,
what's going
it
on.
shows that we did invest in something.
Exactly,
You know, something's moving.
exactly. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Brian?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Scott, that's a great idea. Larry, maybe just to touch on that, maybe in the beginning, you know, if he could come and just a thought before session starts, or somebody,
Okay.
and just make us all feel good about what he's doing. That is a minimal cost. I do worry about this is a, I think we had said general fund this is
Yes,
coming out of,
Yes.
right? So I do worry about that. But so it is year to year. Now
Year to
this
year,
is
yes.
just for the session, right?
No, this is for 2020. This is for the whole
so
year.
this is so after the session's over, he's still working
Absolutely, absolutely.
till the end of
Yes, sir.
the year, and
Absolutely.
we're not committed. Obviously, if we keep it the next
you have-
year,
we'll have to pass
obviously
another resolution.
this number is not. It could change, and probably
I hope
would,
not,
right?
but yes, it could. Yeah, I mean, the answer, of course, is yes, it could, but I hope
Yeah.
it don't.
Because I think from what, and I'm just bringing all this up for the public that's paying attention. I think Paul had said something about his normal price is close to 100,000 for
The
something
prices
just
are-
like that.
Yeah, the prices are different in different cities and parishes. Of course, I think Lafayette was paying somewhere around $90,000 for for whatever he was doing there. I'm not exactly sure what the mayor is paying in New Orleans. I'm not sure what they're
Yeah,
paying in all of
yeah.
these other places, but we.
Yeah, so he's really.
I don't think he have any contracts at 36,000, so
yeah.
maybe we shouldn't be talking
So
too much about that.
That's what I'm concerned about, the budget it's coming out of, but I'm willing to support it for the
Yeah.
first year. And like everybody says, if he gets one project, it probably will
Exactly.
pay for itself, and then we relook at it again at this time next year.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Right, right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Richaud. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Larry, the word lobbyist, you wanted to change that to agent?
I was
or
going to
something,
change
or
it to
leave
government
like that?
relations, but you know,
You leave it, or?
I would you leave it, but you think it doesn't really matter, it's the same difference?
We can change that however we want to.
We can change it when we do it, just vote on it as lobbyists. That's good.
You want to
Lobbyists.
move?
That's fine.
Okay. We need to change it now, we need to change it.
Well, you got to promote Iberia Parish. I think your resolution's broad enough that
That's enough, okay. All right, okay, so no other comments, roll call? That motion carries.
Before you adjourn, are you getting ready to adjourn this meeting?
Yes,
Can I say something that I forgot to say during
go ahead.
Paris President's announcement? Of course, today is February the 5th, and it's 37 years I've been married, and I'm not supposed to be here, but since you, Eugene, changed this meeting from next week to this week, my wife and I have to stay in Iberia Parish, so I just want to tell my wife happy anniversary on our 37th wedding anniversary.
Wow. I would like the public to wish y'all a happy anniversary
Thank
also.
you.
Okay,
All right.
I move to adjourn. I need a motion. A motion by Michael Landry, second by Tommy Pilot.
I'm leaving.
Roll call. Meeting adjourned.